This video, we're going to talk about the addition and subtraction of fractions. And the only thing you have to remember when you're adding or subtracting fractions is that the denominator has to be the same. So let's say we have 1/2, and we're adding that 1/2 to another half. Because the denominators are the same, all we have to do is add the numerators. So we leave the 2. That's how many pieces the whole thing is cut into. So we leave the 2, and then we add the top, the numerators together, the pieces that we have. So 1 plus 1 is 2, which can also be reduced to just 1. And if this confuses you, we can draw it out to see why that is. So the first fraction is broken down into 2, as we are told by the denominator. And the numerator tells us that we have 1/2 of that shaded, one of those pieces shaded. The second fraction tells us the same thing. It's broken down into 2, and we have one of those pieces. And then when we add them together, 1/2 plus 1/2, we get 1 whole pi. So let's work another problem. Let's say we have 1/2, and we're adding 1/4. Because the denominators are different, we cannot just add the numerators together. We have to make the denominators the same before we can add them. So we're gonna multiply this first fraction by 2. And when we multiply by 2, we have to do it to the top and to the bottom. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So now we can forget about this, and now the denominators are the same, we can add them together. So the denominator stays the same, and we add the numerators. 1 plus 2 is 3. So we have 3/4. As you can see, we couldn't add the first fractions together because they were different. They had different amount of pieces and of different size. In the first fraction we had 1/2 shaded, and in the second fraction we had just 1/4 shaded. We can't just add 1/4 plus 1/2 and call it 3/2 or something. We had to break this down into 4, and then we see that we have 2/4, and then we have 1/4 here, so we have 3/4. Let's do another problem. Let's say we have 2/3 plus 4/6. Now the denominators are different, so we have to make them the same. And we can do that by just multiplying the first fraction by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 3 is 6. We can forget about this. So 4/6 plus 4/6, which gives us, we keep the denominator the same, and we add the numerators, which gives us 8. 8/6 is an improper fraction, so we have to reduce it. So we divide 6 into 8, and 6 goes into 8 one time. So we put a 1 here, and then we have 2 left over. So we have 2 and 2/6 left over, which can further be reduced to 1 by dividing this by 2, divide the bottom by 2 to give us 1/3. So let's do another problem. Let's say we have 3/4 minus 3/8. Because the denominators are different, we can't just subtract the numerators, we have to change the first fraction. So we multiply by 2, multiply by 2. 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 2 is 8. So we forget about this. Now we're subtracting 6 eighths minus 6 eighths minus 3 eighths. So 3 minus 6 is 3, and we have 8 at the bottom. Let's do another problem. Let's say we have 2/3 minus 2/5. Because the denominators are different, subtract the numerators. We have to make the denominators the same first. So to do that, we can just multiply 5 by 3 and 3 by 5, and that will give us the same denominator. So we multiply this side of the fraction, this fraction by 3, multiply, and this side by 5. Why do we do that? Because 5 times 3 and 3 times 5 gives us the same denominator. So this will give us 5 times 2 gives us 10, and 3 times 5 gives us 15, minus 2 times 3 is 6, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now we can subtract. So 10 minus 6 is 4, and 15 stays the same. That's how many pieces we have.